Hi, everybody. This is the Leadership with Heart podcast, and this is Heather Younger, your host. Employee experience is powered by emotions. Managers and/or leaders within organizations get to choose which emotions they unleash from within the people they lead. Leaders, meaning supervisors or above in an organization, drive much of the positive or negative emotions by their actions or inactions, their words, or what they fail to say. When a manager chooses their words and their actions carefully, they exhibit great emotional intelligence. These managers often are thought of as leaders who care, or, as I like to call them, leaders with heart. This special brand of leader drives engagement and loyalty simply by being themselves. Are these leaders perfect? Absolutely not. It is in their awareness and sharing of some of those imperfections that we realize their brilliance. In this podcast, I ask you to see yourself in the stories my guests tell about times when they are not the best versions of themselves, but how they use their hearts to guide them to a place of deeper connection with their teams and heighten leadership prowess. Today, guess what? I'm delivering a message directly to you. I won't have a guest. It's short and sweet and very potent. Enjoy. Hello, everybody. Today is another solo show. I'll be having a lot of different guests coming on in October and November, but I wanted to take the opportunity to talk to you about this idea of addressing negative feedback or a negative situation or a hard situation head on and not hiding from it. I was working at an organization, and one of my team members, actually a supervisor that was leading a group, had stumbled upon some information, and it was two of her coworkers, people that were subordinate to her, were having a conversation on a call that they thought was just private between them. She overheard it, and it happened to be recorded. So she listened to it, and of course she was hurt by it, and she shared that with me. It was very important because the feedback had to do specifically with her and how they perceived her as a manager, and with me and how they perceived me as a leader of the whole team. And the conversation was not at all fruitful. It was very, very negative and was not solution-oriented. So I called each one of them into my office and had just separate conversations with them, asking them what it was they were thinking when they had this conversation, and explained to them why the conversation was not appropriate. It was, to be honest, if it was done in the open, it would be very insubordinate to their immediate supervisor. They didn't have a positive perception of her, even though she went out of her way to do all that she could to make their lives easier. There was just something that they had against her. And I didn't appreciate the way that they were undermining everything. And one particular team member was doing this. And I had to call her out and say, listen, this person has always advocated for you. This person is doing everything possible to make sure you have the days off you need, make sure that you have everything that you need. And so the way that you're doing this and the way you've been treating her has been unacceptable. And I wrote her up. I also wrote the other individual up because I let her know that team cohesion and our positive team dynamics are extremely crucial, and why it's important as managers and leaders to receive feedback in a respectful and in a way, right? And to receive it inside of ourselves, to take it in, to baste over that concept, and then to hopefully change and learn from it. It is not okay for people to undermine anybody on the team. I don't care if you're in a leadership role or not. And that was my expectation, and they all knew it. So they both were written up. Was it easy to do? No, because I don't think I'd ever written anyone up before that in the 20 years of my leadership. But it was necessary. They needed to know the importance of my vision of team cohesion and the fact that everybody needed to support and encourage one another and should not be undermining anyone irrespective of title. So I think that what I wanted to get through to you today is that it's important as leaders to receive feedback, to hear what people might be saying, to hear criticisms, and to take that in. But it's also important to head off negative things that are happening that could destroy your culture and your team dynamics immediately. This might also be a case when you think about it, when maybe an organization is going through a merger or through layoffs, that we make sure that we let our people know why this has to take place, why layoffs are happening, and understanding that the person had value in the organization, but maybe it was a necessary evil to keep the business going. These kind of conversations are critical. Listen, these people are adults. They're not children. They do deserve the utmost respect. And so having that open line of communication with them, letting them know where the business is going, how they can impact business results in a positive way, and maybe what might be impacting the business in a negative way, and then what that could mean for the business as it relates to maybe potential layoffs or cuts. I worked in an organization that went through a layoff, and I was a part of that. And in the end, it ended up being a very positive, kind of rainbow-filled road for me in the end. But what I would have appreciated even more is if, instead of it being a surprise or a secret that we were being laid off, that there was a conversation around the performance of the business and giving us a heads up on either ahead of time if there's something we could have done to stop it, or again, letting us know that there was great value in what we provided, but it was just a numbers game and that there needed to be cuts in order for the business to survive. That would have been very helpful. So leaders with the heart are really those who don't shy away from having direct feedback, or giving direct feedback and just heading on the tough conversations right up front. To make sure that their people know that they care about them, that they treat them with respect, and just don't leave anything unsaid. That's a very critical thing for a leader with heart. Hopefully you enjoyed this solo talk with me today. Get prepared for lots of great conversations in my upcoming shows. And if you did enjoy this, please do rate it and review it on iTunes or wherever you might listen. This is some great heart-filled work, and I appreciate that you're on this journey with me. Thank you for listening to the Leadership with Heart podcast. You can grab the show notes by visiting customerfanatics.com. And don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter.